Here's something interesting about every state in the US. Alabama. Alabama is the only state to have an alcoholic beverage as its official drink, Conecuh Ridge Alabama-style whiskey. Alaska. During World War II, the Japanese actually invaded Alaska, making it the only military campaign of World War II fought on North American soil. Arizona. Arizona boasts the London Bridge, which was purchased from the City of London in 1968, dismantled, shipped across the Atlantic, and reconstructed piece by piece in Lake Havasu City. Arkansas. In 1932, the town of Hope, Arkansas, grew the world's largest watermelon, tipping the scales at an astonishing 195 pounds. California. California is home to the Salton Sea, a massive accidental lake created in 1905 when engineers lost control of the Colorado River, flooding the desert for 2 years. Colorado. The tiny town of Leadville, Colorado, once so rich with silver, it had 70 millionaires, led to the highest altitude opera house in the US, the Tabor Opera House, built in 1879. Connecticut. Connecticut's Lake Compounce is the oldest continuously operating amusement park in the United States. Delaware. In 1787, Delaware became the first state to ratify the United States Constitution, earning it the nickname the First State. Florida. Florida's Coral Castle was built single-handedly by Ed Leedskalnin, who claimed to have discovered the secrets of the pyramids, moving and carving over 1,100 tons of coral rock using homemade tools. Nobody ever witnessed Leedskalnin's labor on the castle. Georgia. In 1828, Dahlonega, Georgia, was the site of the first major gold rush in the United States, even before the famous California gold rush. Hawaii. Hawaii's Molokai Island has the world's highest sea cliffs, reaching heights of over 3,600 feet and offering stunning views over the Pacific Ocean. Idaho. Idaho's Shoshone Falls, at 212 feet, is actually higher than Niagara Falls and is often called the Niagara of the West. Illinois. In 1893, Chicago hosted the world's Columbian Exposition, which introduced the world to the Ferris wheel. Indiana. On May 4, 1871, the first professional baseball game in history took place in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Cleveland Forest Cities faced off against the Fort Wayne Kekiongas, with the Kekiongas emerging victorious with a score of 2-0. Iowa. During the Great Depression, a group of desperate farmers resisted cattle inspections, leading to violent clashes with state officials known as the Cow War. Kansas. Kansas is home to the world's largest ball of twine, started in 1953 by a man named Frank Stober and now weighing over 20,000 pounds. Kentucky. The Happy Birthday to You song was written by two sisters from Louisville, Kentucky in 1893, becoming one of the most recognized songs in the world. Louisiana. Louisiana's Avery Island is the birthplace of Tabasco sauce, where every single bottle has been made since 1868. Maine. Maine boasts the highest percentage of blueberry production in the United States, providing nearly 99% of the country's supply. Maryland. In 1830, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, America's first commercial railroad, began operations in Maryland, paving the way for the nation's transportation revolution. Massachusetts. The Boston University Bridge is one of the only places in the world where a boat can sail under a train, driving under a car, driving under an airplane. Michigan. Detroit, Michigan is where the first soda pop was invented in 1866 with Werner's Ginger Ale, now the oldest surviving ginger ale brand in the United States. Minnesota. Minnesota is home to the largest mall in the United States, the Mall of America, which is so big it can fit 7 Yankee stadiums inside. Mississippi. In 1963, a patent was filed for the first ever teddy bear, inspired by President Theodore Roosevelt's hunting trip to Mississippi, where he famously spared a bear's life. Missouri. In 1912, Missouri witnessed the first successful parachute jump from a moving airplane, marking the birth of modern skydiving. The jump was made by pilot Albert Berry, who leapt from a Benoit pusher biplane over Jefferson Barracks. Montana. The largest snowflake ever recorded landed in Montana. According to the Guinness World Records, a snowflake measuring 15 inches in diameter fell at Fort Keogh, Montana in January 1887. Nebraska. Nebraska is home to Carange, a replica of England's Stonehenge made entirely out of vintage American cars, located near the town of Alliance. Nevada. Nevada is the driest state in the country, getting less than 10 inches of rain a year. New Hampshire. New Hampshire's Mount Washington Observatory once recorded the fastest surface wind speed ever observed by man at 231 miles per hour in 1934. New Jersey. In 1937, the Hindenburg disaster occurred in New Jersey, marking the end of the era of airship travel with the dramatic explosion of the German Zeppelin. New Mexico. New Mexico's White Sands National Park is home to the largest gypsum dune field in the world, creating an otherworldly white desert landscape. New York. New York City's Central Park is home to a hidden, abandoned 19th century ammunition bunker, forgotten by most of the city's residents. North Carolina. North Carolina's Roanoke Island is where the mysterious lost colony disappeared without a trace in 1587, leaving behind one of America's oldest unsolved mysteries. North Dakota. In 1938, North Dakota revolutionized household chores with the invention of the first electric clothes dryer by J. Ross Moore. Ohio. In 1899, Akron made history by becoming the first city in the world to use police cars. Oklahoma. On March 25, 1948, Oklahoma City issued the nation's first ever tornado warning just minutes before a devastating tornado struck. Because of the warning, no lives were lost. Oregon. Oregon's Crater Lake, formed by a volcanic eruption, is the deepest lake in the United States, with crystal clear water that allows visibility of over 100 feet. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's Hershey Park was originally created as a leisure park for the employees of Hershey's chocolate factory, eventually growing into a major amusement destination. Rhode Island. Rhode Island's Truro Synagogue, built in 1763, is the oldest synagogue still standing in the United States. South Carolina. In 1860, the first shots of the American Civil War were fired at Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor. South Dakota. Started in 1948, the Crazy Horse Memorial in the Black Hills is still being carved today, and when finished, will stand at an astonishing 563 feet high, almost twice as tall as the Statue of Liberty. Tennessee. Tennessee's Great Smoky Mountain National Park is the most visited national park in the United States. Texas. King Ranch in Texas, established in 1853, is one of the largest ranches in the world, spanning an area larger than the state of Rhode Island. Utah. The Rainbow Bridge in Utah is one of the world's largest natural bridges, made of sandstone and standing at 290 feet high and spanning 275 feet across. Vermont. Vermont's Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream was founded by two childhood friends in a renovated gas station in Burlington. Virginia. Virginia's Mount Vernon, George Washington's estate, features a unique 16-sided barn designed by Washington himself, showcasing his innovative agricultural practices. Washington. Washington State's Space Needle, built for the 1962 World's Fair in Seattle, was inspired by the idea of a flying saucer. West Virginia. West Virginia's Mothman legend began in 1966 when residents of Point Pleasant reported sightings of a mysterious creature with glowing red eyes. Wisconsin. In 1882, the world's first hydroelectric power plant began operation on the Fox River in Appleton, Wisconsin. Wyoming. Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park, established in 1872, was the first national park in the world.